Hello Dota 2 fans and welcome! This is Chicago Ted coming to you with the Sudamerican Master 3, powered by G2A of course. Tonight, it is going to be Xiu taking on Team Unknown for the Winners Bracket Finals. Of course, it's not the only game we've got today, but it will be a fantastic game nonetheless. I am being joined now, though, by Miss Anne. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm doing really good. Super excited for this matchup. I have been craving some Unknown Dota for a while now, and we finally get to see it in the Sudamerican Master 3. So this is going to be a super epic matchup. This is the Winners Bracket Final, is it not?
It is. Yes, indeed.
All right, so the winner of this game gets to go directly into the Grand Final, which is going to be tomorrow at the same time.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And the loser, well, they got to go up against Leviathan to make it back into the Winners Bracket, the Grand Final. So that's not going to be an easy road. And, of course, both these teams really do not want to have to go through that. So it's going to be a pretty intense series, judging by the fact that both of these teams, you know, they're quite often recalled as the best of South America or some of the best of South America. And it really shows. They're fantastic players. Of course, Unknown making it into Frankfurt. That's an accomplishment in and of itself, but we're a bit into this draft here, so we can go ahead and let loose with some heroes. Broodmother and Rubik picked up by Xiu. Unknown, they get their doom. Now, they haven't gone for their Ember or Dazzle yet. However, those guys are still in the pool. They might just start off with the Doom Lich, which has seen a lot of success recently.
Yeah, Doom Lich is super strong because Lich is now one of a really strong laning support, having a sacrifice not affect the other team. So Doom is great. I just don't know if he's going to have the all-out crazy team fight action that it looks like Xiu might be going for, picking the Rubik. The Earthshaker's still in the pool, so that roaming support could be crazy strong because Broodmother does fantastic just on her own in lane pushing that. She doesn't need anyone to help her out. So I think the Earthshaker might be a priority ban for Unknown coming out here, but it could just be that they want to ban out the super meta heroes. Is Tusk still a problem in the South American scene?
Yeah, well, yeah, but you don't really ban him out. It comes down to well, one person's going to get Tusk unless you want to throw him in the second ban phase, which could happen, but there are higher priority heroes and there are higher priority bans. So even though he is still tier 1, maybe riding along tier 1, tier 2 with something like an 80% pick ban rate, it's not so much you really want to ban him out every single game. So, and really, I mean, Xiu are getting the first pick and the second pick phase. So if they don't want to ban Tusk, they've got that opportunity to pick him up come the second round. So it's not too bad of an option for them to just let it go through the pool. But I still think that you really do not want to let the Ember or the Dazzle get through if you're Xiu, because, I mean, right now, Unknown, they've got 11 games with this hero, boasting an 80% win rate, Ember Spirit that is, 10 games and a 90% win rate with the Dazzle. Both of those guys, incredibly difficult to deal with. Of course, they did get their Winter Wyvern, who maybe not as successful as the others, but still a very powerful and a very common hero for these guys.
Yeah, I was going to say that Winter Wyvern is probably their most picked hero this patch. In fact, I believe it is with, how many picks is it? Is 7 picks in just this patch alone. So that's going to be something they're going to be really strong at. So I think that having them get the Winter Wyvern Doom combo, they could be really scary to go into a team fight because Doom's just going to completely shut one hero down. So Xiu need to pick a lot of strong team fight heroes, and it looks like they are going to opt for the Ancient Apparition, which is going to help corral Unknown just a little bit, making it so, you know, if they all get hit by an Ice Blast, they can't charge in and start a fight.
Now, the one problem I'm seeing right now is Xiu, if Unknown pick up something like say a Spirit Breaker right here, they don't have a whole lot. Like, Rubik can go for the telekinesis to stop that, but the issue you have is, with a Broodmother especially, if you reveal for a short second, then all the Spirit Breaker needs to do is charge you, and there's no way you're getting away from that point on. So, and Anti-Mage as well. He has a little bit of trouble farming and split pushing with the Spirit Breaker on the map, and of course, Ember Spirit, if he goes for the common build where he goes bottle straight into Boots of Travel, I think that's the common build. Maybe it isn't for Unknown, but being able to be anywhere on the map at any given time just boosts this potency of a lineup like that. So I imagine Unknown are going to be looking for something like a Spirit Breaker. If not a Spirit Breaker, maybe even a Tusk could work out. Both kind of work along the same principle. But with that Anti-Mage pickup, I'm not quite sure I like it. I'd have to see, you know, how it typically goes against the Doom, but typically you think that Doom counters the Anti-Mage because of the silence, pretty much. But it comes down to Doom having a bit of a mana problem, where he spams out his spells, all of a sudden he's got no mana, and Anti-Mage just swoops in, and yeah, the rest is history. So it could be one of those issues that you look for, and also not being able to get the Doom off at all would be a problem, but so far, Unknown, they end up going for the Ogre Magi.
Yeah, I think what you said is really, really accurate, how Tisho have no real way to counter ganks. The Anti-Mage, he can blink away, sure, if he's not silenced by the Doom, but other than that, once Broodmother's revealed in her web, she's kind of screwed. Rubik has 1 telekinesis, and after that, he's so squishy. And Ancient Apparition has one of the lowest HP pools in the game, so I think with the Ogre Magi, with the really strong stuns, Ember Spirit, like you said, is going to get absolutely out of control. It's one of Unknown's favorite carries, and the Winter Wyvern that they're so, so keen on is going to keep everyone alive and has some really aggressive Arctic burns. So I think that Unknown are just picking a much more aggressive lineup, and Tisho aren't really drafting against that. They're not really letting themselves have that defense that they might crucially need against this Ember Spirit.
Right, and they will ban out the Legion Commander. I'm not quite sure where this ban comes from. I mean, Legion, okay, is very strong against Brood and Anti-Mage, so I know exactly where it comes from. But they grab a Beastmaster. I really like this against a hero like an Ember Spirit, and it kind of gives them this whole, well, run at them with a whole bunch of units and watches their towers fall. Now, Unknown, they've got a lot of ways to deal with this zoo strategy, where if you've got a bunch of Spiderlings, you've got the Wolves, then all Winter Wyvern has to do is drop the Winter's Curse, and things are going down the tube. But the Pudge coming out for Unknown, one of the best ways to lock down an Anti-Mage for a long, long time. Oh man, this could be trouble. Now, Pudge has a little bit of trouble against a Broodmother because you can block the hook with the Spiderlings, but that's about it. Rubik is food, Ancient Apparition is food, Anti-Mage, he starts out as food, maybe becomes less so as time goes on, but for the purpose of the argument, he's food. It's a little difficult for Tisho having to deal with a pick like this.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I'm not seeing is a whole lot of synergy in Unknown's draft. I think they have really, really strong heroes, and they counter Tisho's lineup very well. They can have some crazy strategies they pull out with the Pudge. That Rot is just going to decimate Broodmother's Spiderlings, but I'm not seeing how their team fights are going to go. Is it just going to be real pickoffs? Are they going to go in with the Doom and the Pudge, stuns with the Ogre, and get pickoffs that way? Or are they planning to take 5-on-5 engages?
They can definitely take 5-on-5. I mean, Zetok, being on the Ember Spirit, he's a hero that, at least for the first 15 minutes of the game, his Searing Chains and his Flame Guard will make team fights incredibly strong for Unknown. So all you gotta do is get that level 6 up on Sora, get the Pudge in wherever you want to go in on, and just start a fight. And if they try to fight into you, you outplay them, outmaneuver them, get a bunch of slows, get a bunch of damage off over time, and you end up winning the fight. Tisho, they don't exactly have the most damage in the early game, aside from maybe a Broodmother being able to right-click down, which is potent, but I don't know. Speaking of, we talked about some of the heroes playing. There are players playing their individual heroes. We'll go ahead and introduce the teams. It is going to be for Unknown, the team that has made it into Frankfurt Majors. It's Zetok on the Ember Spirit with Akainu playing the Doombringer. Looks like he's a stand-in. The bonus also on the Ogre Magi. Sora going to be on the Winter Wyvern with Shibuya Rin playing the Pudge. Meanwhile,
all right, on the side of Tisho, on the Spider in the bottom lane, we've got King RD on the Broodmother. Towards the mid lane, we've got Sis on the Beastmaster. Up here in the top, we've got Baga on the Ancient Apparition, followed up by Kierdo Serahuman on the Rubik, and then finally, we've got Therence playing the Anti-Mage.
My man Therence. I love watching this guy play. He's an incredible carry player here for Tisho, and is going to give Unknown a run for his money. I mean, for those of you who are not aware, Tisho were the team that earlier in this tournament knocked out Smash's team, which is later known as Ewolf. So that's incredible.
As Pudge is taking a lot of damage here. It's going to get telekinesis up by the Rubik, and it looks like Anti-Mage will secure the first kill with that nice little right click right there. So Anti-Mage definitely starting off on the right foot.
Yep, and the good luck, have fun coming out after that. Almost feels a little bit lighthearted here as we're ready to go on to the game. A lot of hype riding on this matchup. Again, the winner's bracket finals. Best of 3 between Unknown and Tisho. For those of you who are just joining us, I'm Chicago Ted. Joining me is AnneDroid, and on stats, Lurkaderp. And I'm excited to have both of them on and joining for this series. And as the horn calls, 30 seconds in, we are underway. Where do you think these lanes are going as of
Oh,
right now?
mid lane, Doom is having a little bit of trouble. Pops the Scorched Earth just to get Sis back out of lane, but he does get very, very low. Looks like Sis is going to go grab a Tingo and should be A-okay, but Akainu letting himself stay pretty low in lane. The nice Scorched Earth regen won't help him now.
Yeah, he'll be back up in about 45 seconds or so, so not going to be too bad, but it's looking like Sis is doing a fantastic job running him down. In fact, running him down is exactly what's going to happen right now. Dollar, don't think he can go into tower. No! The whirling axes flies through, and Sis will grab the kill. That was a very interesting engagement coming out, and in the end, not really looking good for the Doombringer there, as they easily bring him down.
Yeah, that's a pretty solid way to win your lane, is just take the harass as a Beastmaster, but now Sis is very low, letting himself stay in lane. The Scorched Earth is not up just yet, another couple of seconds on that, so Sis just needs to watch himself. He does have a shared tank ready to go.
You're into the top lane, they'll bring him up, pull him down, and one last right click will fly through. Sorry for the interruption as we take a look back to the mid.
No worries, that Rubik getting a kill is just really, really awesome. That gives him an extra 375 gold that he can do whatever he wants with now. Might be going for early upgraded boots, but it looks like he's sitting very comfortably, having it still a Tango left, pops that clarity, gets himself some mana, and just going to go walk down to the rune spot.
Yeah, that's a fantastic kill that they just got up in the top lane too. I mean, Pudge, generally thought of as a hero with very, very low mobility, so escape mechanism, yeah, he does not have one. And typically what you gotta do, or what you do as a Pudge, is you stay really far back and just try to soak experience. But the problem that he faces now is a Rubik Ancient Apparition lane is something that just kind of sneaks up on you. They can stun you for a long time. In fact, he could just be dead right now. Sarahuman comes up looking for the telekinesis. He's going to walk into the trees, but I'm not quite sure what he's planning on doing here. They just bring him down for a second time. And what has to be 30 seconds, that is a fantastic series of kills. And now Therence will actually get this one to put him closer and closer to that fast Battle Fury.
Yeah, that Pudge is really not having a great time here in this offlane. He's 0-3-0 at only 2 minutes in the game, so he's having a little bit of trouble. But bottom lane, it looks like Spider's going to get revealed by the Sentry Ward. Doesn't look like a lot's going to come out of. She's going to walk out of the vision range a little bit. So, I mean, back to the Pudge in the top lane, though. That's just... what do you do to get yourself back in the game? Because I don't typically see a Pudge in an off-lane position. Hold that thought as mid lane. There's going to be some action here onto the Doom as Sis is chasing deep for this. He wants this kill. He has the Whirling Axes in 2 seconds. So there he goes. He's just going to right-click the kill. Doesn't even need to use his Q.
I'm not quite sure what their thought process was with running a mid-melee against a Beastmaster. You do not win a lane like this. It comes down to if he drops a board down, which is exactly what happened, and you get slightly out of position, he just runs you down. This boots build from Sis proving to be incredibly useful, but in the end, it's something that you can't really fight into. Doom, obviously having no boots for himself, cannot run away at all. Even with that Scorched Earth, he moves incredibly slowly. So Akainu is having a very difficult time dealing with the amount of slows, the amount of pressure that can be put on him just from the Beastmaster's summons alone, not to mention Beastmaster himself dealing a pretty decent sum of damage. And now Sarahuman has made his way into the mid just to soak experience as Sis goes back to the fountain to heal himself right back up, both mana and HP, and then show up back to lane, large and in charge.
Yeah, I think it's pretty safe to say that top lane and mid lane have absolutely been won by Tisha, but what's going on bottom? Ember Spirit's getting some decent farm, 23 last hits so far, but Broodmother's holding her own. She hasn't died yet and has done pretty well keeping herself out of any vision.
Yeah, this has been a fantastic play from Broodmother. I mean, it looks like she's going for the Soul Ring, so King RD going to be going for that, spamming the Spiderling's bill, which could be difficult. Oh, hold on, Akainu back in the mid lane! One chop from the axes, and of course, Sarahuman. We saw him rotate in a long time ago for that mid lane gank, and it looks like it finally becomes fruitful, but we were talking about King RD on the bottom lane having a pretty decent time. Now, the problem that he's going to run into with these Spiderlings, the spawn Spiderling build, rather, is the fact that there is plenty of damage over time coming the way of Unknown to make quick work of those spiders. So he's going to have to be very careful not to feed those away. As Shibuya putting a little bit of pressure on the top lane, but is not going to find any kills. Instead, Therence just being able to TP himself away, be a little bit of an annoying bugger there.
Yeah, this Pudge is having such a tough time. Has only a Mango, some Tangos, a Stout Shield, and a TP in his inventory. He's just really, really struggling. He's poor, he's under-leveled, he's 0-3-0. He's just having such a rough time in lane. How does the Pudge come back from such a difficult laning phase?
That's a tough one. I mean, he doesn't have a jungling mechanism that, say, a Darkseer has. He doesn't have Well, I guess it's sort of like how a Clockwork would come back into the game, right? You just kind of hope that you get experience out of this one, which he is. He's level 4. It's not too bad. But once your team decides they want to take a fight, you have to be there. You can't just stay in lane and play the same game that you're playing right now. You just have to be wherever the action is. Now, that is different. If they all leave this lane, yeah, sure, go ahead, try to get some free farm out of it, get some solo experience, but know where the action is going to happen. Keep a steady eye on where everyone is and make your way over to where things are going down so that you can try to get some experience from that. If anyone's taking stacks too in your own jungle, you should probably be there as well.
Yeah, one thing we haven't quite talked about yet is Therence is having the game of his life right now. He's 2-0-1 at 6 minutes in the game, and he's top of the last hit chart. He's just doing fantastic and has 1,000 gold in the bank on top of treads and a poor man's shield. This guy is doing as well as you can hope for an anti-mage to do in the beginning part of the game.
Yeah, this is exactly the timing he really needs to be hitting right now. I mean, having the Perseverance and Treads at about 8 minutes, which it looks like he's going to have, maybe even sooner, that's the benchmark that you want to get for an incredibly fast Battle Fury. Now, the issue that he's running into is that he's not having the most free lane right now, as the bonus has made his way up to the top to pressure him. Speaking of pressure, though, it looks like King RD is starting to make his move on the bottom lane, making it first onto Z-Talk, and it looks like he should just be able to get this one, but the Flame Guard gets turned on, which means these Spiderlings are not going to last all that long, and a couple of them have gone down, but King RD, it looks like he's a bit indecisive about what he wants to do here now. Flame Guard is not going to last forever. In fact, it's down in just a couple of seconds, which means he has free of reign, but there's going to be a bottle coming out from Z-Talk, which will keep him up relatively full and healthy.
Yeah, I mean, this fight is just such a nuisance in lane, but Ember Spirit clearly is doing something against him as he's tied for most last hits. I think Z-Talk is just having a really nice time. Not overly farmed, does have 1,200 gold in the bank, but just doing really well. That again, like
up on the top lane, the bonus. They get him with the cold feet. He will get locked, and there comes a Mana Void, dealing a pretty decent sum of damage. However, it won't be all that much as Sora walking away relatively healthy, although maybe he goes down here. Therence has got another blink in 2 seconds, but a level 3 blink, you do not want to go underneath the tier 1 tower. Shibuya Rin doesn't have quite enough mana nor the level to make any counter initiation on this one, so he's just going to have to lumber around in lane. But what a fantastic kill, judging where that Ogre Magi was and punishing his incredibly aggressive stance. But it looks like we might get an opposite kill here. As Z-Talk in the bottom lane, they're going to go ahead, bring him down with no trouble at all. They rotate 3 for this one. The bonus, he TP's in. He might just go down as well. It's a 2-0, 9-0 at 8 minutes and 18 seconds. T-Show, they are completely annihilating the spread and showing Unknown who's boss in this game number 1.
Absolutely. I think pretty much the only unknown hero that's getting what he needs to out of the lane so far has been the Ember Spirit, but I mean, he's dead right now.
Yeah,
he's had pretty good farm, but I mean, an Ember Spirit can only do so much on his own, and if everyone on his team is just really struggling. That Doom we saw having such a tough time mid. Pudge is just... He's not doing what he needs to in the offlane, so I think that the Ember Spirit's going to be the only hope, and he TP's in, or Remnants into the mid lane, right behind Baga. Baga just running away now. Ancient Apparition having those boots, just going to lead him underneath the tier 2. Hook is off the mark. Shibuya Rin not able to secure that.
I actually don't know how he missed that hook. That seemed to be right on point.
Oh,
but
now Shibuya Rin in some trouble as Sis has a haste rune and it's going to trap him in there. Sis now popping up that hawk, trying to give him some vision as he is going to run away. Arctic Burn not doing exactly what he needs to, but he will be stunned up by the Ogre Magi, the bonus going in, but Sis is just too fast, able to run back to the safety of his tower. Hook is off the mark and not able to secure that last bit of control in the fight.
My God, that was painful to watch. They couldn't kill an Ancient Apparition. Baga got away. Now Z-Talk could be dead again. The Fade Bolt flies in, but the Whirling Axes do the majority of the damage. What a pick. You have to respect this Beastmaster. It seems the Unknown are not respecting at all what T-Show's heroes can do, and it's been punishing them time and time again. King RD this entire time is now pushing down the bottom lane, has brought down the tier 1 and now going after the tier 2 tower, and it looks like he should be able to make quick work of this. If the Beastmaster, if Sis goes down there, then you've got the Aura too, which would make things very difficult. And all the while as well, Therence in the top lane is equally as farmed, if not more, sitting at 5.4k net worth and about to have his Battle Fury come maybe 12 minutes.
Yeah, this is so one-sided right now for Tisha. I was asking you earlier, how does the Broodmother win her lane? Well, she just constantly pressures it and doesn't leave and just outlasts everyone. And now she's at the tier 2, forcing a triple rotation. And, I mean, Z-Talk's doing everything he can just to keep the Spiderlings off the tower.
And this rotation is very important because what it's doing is creating so much space for Therence in the top lane to continue farming. It's freed up their jungle. They know they can freely farm anywhere on the map, as Baga is also free farming in the mid lane. So it's just a wild goose chase. They lose Spiderlings, but the general map control that is being exerted right now, and the cost of that is way more than what you lose by giving up those Spiderlings. And now you see they've left the lane. Well, there goes King RT right back in to pressure it. It's just they're playing Unknown like a fiddle. You make them move where you want them to move, and you give all the space in the world to the rest of your team.
Yeah, I mean, Unknown was so heavily slated to win this match on the Dota 2 Lounge. It was 74% in favor of Unknown, only 26% in favor of T-Show, but T-Show are 100% in control of this game right now. Just taking a look at the net XP chart and the gold graph, it's just sloping more and more into T-Show's favor.
Yeah, and T-Show, it seems like they're playing on an entirely different level right now. They have got everything in the world going for them, and they've almost formed that complete dichotomy on the net worth too, where you see the red on the top and the green on the bottom. It's getting close to that. Even the supports are farming pretty damn well. They're about half the net worth in total, respectively, to the cores of the of Unknown, but that's still incredibly good when you look at supports typically having 1/5 to 1/10 of the net worth of an enemy core.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, Ancient Apparition does have the mana boots. It's sitting on the bottom of the dire net worth chart, but I think Ancient Apparition's doing just fine, getting the levels that are so crucial.
Oh man, and Theron showing that he too can set some records as he gets the fastest Battle Fury on Anti-Mage, 6.85. Dang, that is incredible for him.
Yeah, we were talking about Anti-Mage having a nice start with that first blood, but he has just continued to roll with it. 3-0-1, full Battle Fury, full treads, poor man's shield, and he's going to go pressure the tier 1 without feeling any unsafety. He's just totally fine. All the Radiant heroes are mid, and they know that. What are they going to do to slow down this Anti-Mage?
I don't know. When the Anti-Mage, I think he's got, if not perfect, very near perfect CSing. 120 CS, typically the benchmark, all right, that you usually see is 100 CS by 14 minutes. That is the benchmark. He's got 120 a minute before that happens. Now the Ice Blast comes out. Maybe we get see Unknown get on the board. They will do it, but not without the Ice Blast coming through. Sis, he TP's in, but in the middle of everything, it's a powwow on the Beastmaster, and he'll drop as well. A 1 for 2 so far. And Unknown, they're behind the tier 1 tower. But it doesn't seem like T-Show they've been able to punish this one just yet. There are a couple of Necronomicon units making their move, but not really making anything happen as Serahuman goes in, telekinesis Akuno back up, and it looks like he will get the kill with the Fade Bolt, the Necronomicon units. Also Z-Talk! Oh, the Mana Burn comes through, and now Therence, the Mana Void. Serahuman will get the kill, but Therence coming in the nick of time to find a couple of kills worth of experience.
That was awesome, and I guess that's why you don't kill a Beastmaster or a Necro unit. That just completely annihilated the Ember Spirit, and I gotta admit, it was fun to watch, but it looks like an Ice Blast coming in. He's gonna catch out Shibuya Rin. He should be able to live through this one, as it is only a level 1 Ice Blast, and he is pretty beefy, but he doesn't have any flesh heaps.
Shibuya Rin pulling a little bit of a cheeky maneuver as he pops his rot right after the Ice Blast ends to put him very close to that threshold. And we're sitting
we are going to see. Baga is going to go in. Is going to get missing the Searing Change, but it looks like Z-Talk getting lifted up by the Rubik will get punished for this. Very aggressive rotation. Looks like this Remnant will not be enough to get him out of this. Is going to go down here.
Oh man, that's disgusting, the amount of damage coming out.
Oh, Hook coming in from Shibuya Rin, and it looks like there's going to be a scream from the Beastmaster. Sis doing what he can to try to get down Shibuya Rin, but this will be Pudge going down. Broodmother getting the kill there, a nice Ice Blast onto the bonus. Looks like he is going to take a lot of damage, and Therence is there to clean him up. This is going disastrously for Unknown right now. It's like King RD is going to go in. There's a Shadow Amulet on the Doom as he is going to stop there, but GG is called. They're ready to go on to the next one. Unknown, they didn't get the start they wanted, and they're just going to retry it next game. It's a best of 3, so they got another game to try to straighten up.
15 minutes. This game ended. 15 minutes. I don't even know what to say about this. Just, well, as they said it best, let's GG and go next. Game number 2, guys, will be coming up shortly. Unknown versus T-Show, the winners bracket finals, believe it or not. We'll be right back.